In the first half alone, Jimmy, Swift had 22 assists. Santa Lucia had only 8. And there you see the absence of Jerry Esplana on the floor.
And Nolly, we covered the first game of the semifinal round. And it was Swift versus Santa Lucia. What was the difference? Of course, Santa Lucia won that ball game. And now Santa Lucia is down here by so much.
Well, as I said at the top of the coverage, Santa Lucia will have to execute well, and that's going to be the key in this ball game. Swift has done it very well here in this first half and here in the start of the third quarter so far. And again, the key figure for Santa Lucia has been Jerry Esplana. Rick Marata has not been able to step into the shoes of Jerry Esplana. Marata has only scored 2 points so far. Esplana had 24 in that first meeting last November 7th.
And I wonder what the assist numbers are with these two teams.
Well, that should be very obvious since Swift, or rather Santa Lucia, has only made 8 assists in the first half. In that first game alone, Jerry Esplana had 8 during the November 7 meeting. So certainly Marata is not doing the job so far here.
A foul committed by the Swift Mighty Meaties. It was on Vergel Meneses, who top scored for the Meaties in the first half with 19 points. One thing missing also from the game of Santa Lucia is the absence of scoring by Sandro Limpot.
That's right. Sandro Limpot had 32 last time out. So far, he has only scored 5 points in the first half. Of course, Andy De Guzman has picked up his performance with 17 points in the first half alone. But that's not going to be enough. They have to get some backcourt scoring. And more importantly, Santa Lucia will have to pick it up in terms of intensity on the defensive end.
14 points for Alvarez. Tony Harris against Delantes. He had to do a fall away and it drops in. And that'll be his 23rd point of the ball game, Tony Harris. And the Swift lead has ballooned.
Well, it's very obvious that the adjustment that was made by Nat Canson is to play Tony Harris straight up. One-on-one defense, nobody trying to help out. So far, it has not worked as Tony Harris has burned them with a couple of baskets here. Lambert Shell with a good turnaround jumper. Still a 14-point lead for the Mighty Meaties.
Again, Tony Harris. Continuation will be called and a foul committed against him.
When you have a guy who's on the open floor from the top of the key and will be able to bring it all the way to the basket, you're not playing defense at all here. Tony Harris has done that a couple of times. Possible three-point play. Delantes picks up foul number 2.
That also was team foul number 2 for Santa Lucia Realty. Harris will convert from the 4.5-meter line. Timeout is called by Santa Lucia with that much of a lead by Swift. We'll be back.
Isang beses lang. Isang beses.
A no conversion by Limpot, some fancy dribbling, and a recovery by, no, it's a steal by Santa Lucia. Unselfishly, Andy De Guzman hands it over to Alvarez. Score, 74-59. The Swift Mighty Meaties are ahead. Harris has the basketball. He is directing play for the Meaties. Good defensive job by Alvarez. There was a free Saldana right there. On the sideline inbound, the receiver is Tony Harris. 8 seconds on the shot clock for the Swift Mighty Meaties. Saitono only has 4 seconds. Solis has 2, and it doesn't drop, but Saldana is right there.
Great offensive rebound by Terry Saldana as the shot clock was winding down here. Back to a 17-point lead for Swift.
Rick Marata hasn't gotten his share of the scoring tonight for Santa Lucia, and neither has Sandro Limpot. A foul committed by Saldana. 15-point lead.
During that timeout, Jimmy Max Delantes was removed from the hard court and replaced by Paul Alvarez. In the meantime, De Guzman will pick up foul number 4 here as he tried to play tough defense on Tony Harris. He will have to sit down, and Toying Teves checks back in his place.
Taking turns at Tony Harris, Toying Teves, and previously Andy De Guzman, and then for a while Delantes. Berhel Meneses.
This is a good matchup. Both high flyers here.
What a pass to Nelson Asaitono, and a nice finish to that assist pass of Meneses.
Swift continues to move the ball and look for the higher percentage shot here, and that's why their scoring percentage has also improved. Another getaway, this time by Jun Limpot.
Left alone in the candy store, and he made a slam, and
a turnover,
yes,
by Swift. So this could be a possible momentum grabber for Santa Lucia. There you see that slam a while back from the baseline.
Limpot making sure, gave it to Alvarez far out. Inside the paint. It's a follow-up by Sandro Limpot, and who calls the timeout? It's the Swift Mighty Meaties. We'll be back. Kaliwete pala to si Marcial. It was an attempt at an alley-oop, but then when he landed, he took the shot right underneath the rim. Excellent pass coming off Harris, and now an excellent layup for Lambert Shell.
But you know, Santa Lucia cannot afford to just trade baskets here. They've got to come up with some stops. Coach Yenga called a timeout because he wants to remind his boys that, hey, we cannot let the momentum go. We're on top by 13 here.
Underneath, again Saldana. He missed that one. Alvarez on a 3-on-4.
Oh, a bad pass by Alvarez. Wasted an opportunity there.
And this is to Al Solis. What a switch from right to left.
That's a great move from Al Solis off a good pass coming from Meneses. Teves forced into that pushing foul. That's number 1 on Toying Teves.
All the experience of so many years of playing basketball here in the PBA. Usually you won't expect to push from behind, but when he got the pass, he somehow knew that there was someone behind him and switched the ball from his right to his left hand and almost converted.
Originally drafted by Shell, of course. An offensive rebound and a foul here.
Oh yes, that'll be on Lambert Shell. Foul number 3. Al Solis has been a vital cog of the Swift Mighty Meaties squad. We could call him their go-to guy in situations.
A team from a champion team, from a regular team here in the PBA. You've got to have a marquee player, a guy you go to at the clutch, a go-to move, as they say, if you want to be a powerhouse team in the PBA. And you look at Pure Foods, they got, you know, a low post player in Patrimonio, and of course Swift has Tony Harris, Nelson Asaitono, and Al Solis to really go to when the chips are down. And now, of course, Jun Limpot is starting to become that kind of a player for Santa Lucia.
Lambert Shell got it from Limpot. It doesn't drop. Foul committed by Saldana. It'll be foul number 2 on Terry Saldana.
Lambert Shell, not known very much for his leaping ability, but look at the way he moves his feet there, getting off those sandwiches, and still gets up a shot. He goes to the free throw line, gets the first free throw. 83% free throw shooter is Lambert Shell.
From the field, Swift is 7 out of 8. Santa Lucia is 7 out of 9.
That's why this game has been well played so far, although Swift has really dominated it.
Alvarez is cutting the middle, and then he passed off to Lambert Shell. Picking it up is Sandro Limpot, and it's a possible 3-point play for the rookie.
Ika nga, napaganda pa. Jun Limpot picking up the loose ball off a tap by Nelson Asaitono. And the rookie knows what to do when he's inside.
Limpot only had 5 points in the first half. He now has 11.
You know, that's the other amazing thing with Jun Limpot. He's starting to know how to pace himself here in the PBA. There used to be a time when he would really take it by himself in the first 2 quarters and then lose steam in the fourth. Now he's beginning to pace himself well and dominate in the late quarters, as we see another offensive foul caused by Limpot trying to challenge in midair.
We were just talking about him, and it was an excellent piece of defense displayed by the rookie.
Watch this again.
He will not grab for that basketball. He will just put his hand in front of the rim.
And that's the kind of respect that Limpot gains here, and he's given by the imports. They know his shot blocking ability, they know his talents, and certainly Jun Limpot has come of age here.
Lambert Shell. Double team, no one to pass to. Oh, there's Toying Tevez.
Well, Toying Tevez was there for about 3 days. The pass was not getting to him, but he waited and he was patient. Lead is down to 9 here.
Toying Tevez will foul Tony Harris before Harris crossed the center line. Tevez commits foul number 2, and that is team foul number 6 for Santa Lucia. 5 minutes and 32 remaining. We're in the third quarter of this ball game. The open lane for Harris.
At that time he got the momentum he needed to get him elevated with athleticism. Lead is back to 11 here.
Some admirers of Noli Ayala on our screen right there. That was Ding Dong Avanzado, I believe. And Tevez will miss. Oh, Alvarez is able to fish for that foul underneath.
Very creative in the air. Alvarez knew that somebody was behind him. After he picks up an offensive rebound, he goes the other way, uses his body and his leaping ability to get up the shot and pick up a foul.
Just 11. And a chance to chop it down for Alvarez. First one goes in.
Big story of 1993 also is Paul Alvarez. Of course, he had to sit out a couple of conferences before finally agreeing to a Santa Lucia offer. Misses the free throw, but gets his own miss, puts it up. Oh, too strong.
No foul that time. Nelson Asaitono. Oh, one-hander of a ball fake, and then he went in. 12-point lead. Lambert Shell is double teamed. He gives it back to Regreg Marata. Marata to Zandro Limpot. Fall away. And there's Alvarez. There was a push right underneath the rim. Could go against Lambert Shell. Or was it Toying Tevez?
Well, this is a shot that Santa Lucia expects Limpot to make here. Fadeaway jumper, line drive there. A little strong. And there's the push underneath by Toying Tevez to get Tony Harris out of the play. So Santa Lucia still not being able to exploit the momentum that they gained a while back. Lead is back to 12 here.
Harris wanted to go to the left. Excellent double team by Zandro Limpot, but he committed the foul.
This is a good call by referee Bartolome. At the first instance, Limpot had the ball, but then he put his hand down. Watch his play. There was still no call there. Then finally Limpot puts down his right hand, and that's where the foul was called.
On the nape of Tony Harris. Mr. T. $29 points for Harris.
Remember, both teams are coming off victories against Pure Foods. Of course, Swift had a big morale booster there with an overtime win against the Hot Dogs 2 nights ago, or 3 nights ago rather.
Zandro Limpot. It's Nelson Asaitono on him, and also Reyes. Foul committed by Nelson Asaitono. That was foul number 3 for Nelson Asaitono. 17 fouls now for the Swift Mighty Meaties. Meneses is replaced.
Well, this brings more shooting from the outside. Of course, less ceiling, but Swift is safely ahead by 14 right now.
Rick Marata on a running jumper from the stripe. He has picked up his scoring, Nolly.
That's right. We can't overstress the fact that Marata has to score. He is the key here, because then the defense underneath will be freed a little bit more for the big men of Santa Lucia.
So it's to Rudy Distrito. It was a handoff. Benefited was Reyes. He was not given the option, but the ball just went his way. Laberchel. Picked up by Eric Reyes. Now, Zandro Limpot. No move from Nelson Saitono. Even a hand on the face of Zandro Limpot. And Limpot now has 14.
3 and 14 remaining as well here in the third quarter. Santa Lucia hanging on.
Swift with a 12-point lead. It'll stay that way. Marata to Alvarez, using the glass. It didn't crawl in. Saitono to Harris. 3 on 3. Harris will take the shot. 11 assists and 32 points for Tony Harris.
Well, again, Santa Lucia will have to be wary about being lured into that running game. One-on-one play. Saitono against Limpot, and Limpot again gets away, gets the basket. So the big man starting to really deliver the goods here.
Seemed like a new studied move by Zandro Limpot that time.
Well, every day this young guy is really revealing a lot of moves.
Harris moving to the right.
Just too strong for Toying Teves.
Oh yes.
And
That
look,
was all the defense Toying Teves could muster.
well, he
right
played
here.
excellent defense here. Put his hands up, went up with Tony Harris, but Harris was just overpowering underneath.
Oh yes.
And you've got to look for somebody really to match up against Harris, especially when he gets the ball underneath.
Very honest defense by Toying Teves. But in spite of that, Harris at the stripe and getting his 35th point.
And he is only 2 rebounds away from a triple-double here tonight. 15-point game.
Rick
Whoa!
Marata, his own version of a possible 3-point play on the other end. Alvarillo with foul number 1. Over the limit, the Swift Mighty Meaties.
Well, this is what Jerry Esplana brings to this ball club. That penetration for a small guy, trying to force the guards of the defensive team to play honest defense and not double team down low. Marata has to do that much more here. Completes a 3-point play, and he cuts down the lead of Swift to 12 points. 2 minutes remaining in the third quarter.
Marata scoring 5 points in this quarter. It has changed the complexion of the ball game. Rudy Distrito to Tony Harris, a cut by Reyes. Saitono, Alvarillo. And Reyes can't grab that pass. Oh, Limpot, 2-hander this time.
Great pass by Lambert Shell. Lead is down to 10, but that was keyed off a turnover. Good rotation that time by Shell, reading the play. Another turnover here.
Alvarez leading the break for Santa Lucia. Rick Marata over to Lambert Shell. Only against 3 defenders. Another chance at an offensive. Alvarez is blocked and fouled by Reyes.
Well, Swift got caught napping on defense, particularly Tony Harris. He's not yet in the picture here. That's why they were outnumbered. Reyes forced into that foul. So Harris cheating on defense, and Alvarez has an opportunity to make him pay.
1 minute and 9 seconds remaining in this third quarter. The offense of Alvarez has picked up.
This is the time when your pulse is really running high, and you've got to be able to control that in order to take good free throws. In the meantime, Eric Reyes has been relieved by Terry Saldana.
18 for Bong Alvarez.
Lead is down to 9 here from a high of 17.
with a minute remaining. Harris. There's that double team, and then Saldana is underneath. Again, the possible alley-oop play.
Well, that's the difference now with the Santa Lucia defense, as there are only 9 seconds in the shot clock. Alley-oop play.
Short in the execution by Tony Harris. Lambert Shell is telling Zandro Limpot, let's slow things down a bit. Post up against Nelson Asaitono.
Oh, what a
goal! And somehow, the lack of an effort to defend against Limpot made that slam more spectacular.
Well, that was why Lambert Shell was saying, low, post down low, you can take this guy. Reminds you of Hakeem Olajuwon there.
Rudy Distrito, oh yes, the fireman at this point.
Well, that's the experience of Rudy Distrito. He knows when to take the shot. He has not taken a lot of shots here tonight, but when it's needed, he comes to the rescue.
Lambert Shell. Very little time. Short Harris. And Barata.
Yeah!
Oh, beating the buzzer. And that's it for this third quarter, with Swift enjoying only a
the fourth quarter, a move by Tony Harris to increase their lead.
And on the other end, retaliation by Lambert Shell for Santa Lucia.
Well, this is the payoff quarter. Both teams know the importance of stepping up their intensity on defense here. Alvarado starting out the fourth period for Swift.
Excellent defense by Santa Lucia. Lambert Shell will almost lose it. Then there's the open lane, but he will hand off to Zandro Limpot, who was fouled on his way to the basket.
And Shell is down on the floor again.
We've seen that so many times in this ball game.
The ability of Lambert Shell to draw the defense allows Limpot to step into the lane there, but a good block by Realubit takes away the three-point opportunity. In the meantime, Alvarillo sits down quickly here as Coach Yengel makes an early change. Al Solis is back in the game.
We'd like to greet our friends currently attending the 13th at Congress at Subic Bay, and we hope you enjoy the Faces Disco tonight. A minute has passed in this fourth quarter. Zandro Limpot picked up his score in the third, and it has been a ball game since then.
Well, he has hit 17 points out of the 21 or 22 here in the second half. Another guy who has stepped up his performance is Maratas. You see some numbers. Swift 6 turnovers, most of those coming into the last 5 minutes of that third quarter.
All alone, he missed it. With a vengeance. Alvarez is streaking down against 3. He lays up and he converts it. And that'll be his 20th point of the ballgame.
And don't look now, Jimmy. The lead is down to 3 here. Swift severely challenged. And they're losing a little of their composure right now.
Tony Harris.
There's that double team again.
Zaldy Realubit. 8 seconds now for Tony Harris. But he will pass off on a cross-court pass. Ends up with Harris once again.
That's a 25-second violation as the shot did not go in. So an opportunity for Santa Lucia to inch closer. Coach Yengel showing a look of concern now. They were up by 17 a while back.
Lambert Shell against Terry Saldana. Limpot is also asking for the basketball. Shell from Arata against Saldana and Distrito. It trickles in. Just a 1-point ball game. Yes, and a timeout call. Tony Harris on the drive to the basket is fouled by Toying Teves.
Well, Tony Harris now taking matters into his own hands here. Driving strong. Teves hanging on to him. Only one more rebound away from a triple-double tonight. 38 points for the Hurricane. And Teves finally gets his rest. He played well during his brief stint on the floor, trying to check Tony Harris. Andy De Guzman is back in the ballgame.
So it's now 102 to 99. What was once a 17-point lead has been reduced to just 3.
Well, for one thing, Swift has fallen into a lot of turnovers in this second half. Another is that the intensity of the game for Santa Lucia has changed, particularly with Limpot and Marata starting to score here.
Limpot would like to take on Zaldy, but it was almost stolen. Andy De Guzman, nice fake against Nelson Asaitono. It's back to a 1-point ball game.
That's instant offense for you coming off the bench. De Guzman sat for quite some time, but still was able to play coming into the game. Solis taking it strong, forced the shot, and here's the outlet.
Alvarez to Marata, to
Oh,
De
what a
Guzman. Who has the lead? Santa Lucia.
It has been a tedious process for the Realtors, but they're up.
The crowd here at the Cuneta Astrodome has become a Santa Lucia hometown crowd. Meneses. A miss. Lambert Shell. This time he will slow things down.
You know, that's not the kind of shot Meneses took in the first half. Ill-advised three-point jumper here.
The miss by Limpot. Baseball pass to Alsolis. It will be one-on-one. Oh, Marata almost stole that. But Alsolis, but he will commit the foul. That was foul number 3 on Rick Marata.
Let's take a look at it again.
Was it a ball or the arm?
Well, it certainly looked like from that angle that Marata had a piece of the ball. Nonetheless, Solis was given 2 free throws. Marata has played without relief in this ball game, Jimmy. There you see Nat Canson, a miracle worker here.
Oh, as we were saying, their go-to guy, Al Solis, he gets back the lead for the Swift Mighty Meaties.
Still a lot of time remaining, 8 minutes in this fourth quarter.
Alvarez. Oh! A possible 3-point play for Bong Alvarez and Santa Lucia Realty.
Well, you saw Solis signaling to his teammates, you've got to close the lane. You have to step into the defense there. They allowed Alvarez too close to the basket, and he has exploded with those numbers. Paul Alvarez averages about 21 points per ball game. And he makes the 3-point play, gives Santa Lucia a 2-point lead. Some numbers early in this fourth quarter. There you see the almost perfect shooting of Santa Lucia.
Nice handoff, Tony Harris from Vergel Meneses.
Well, Meneses has struggled here in the second half, so he's now playing a little bit of decoy. But he's still got to score.
The last time this ball game was tied was at 106 all, because now Lambert Shell just converted underneath.
Well, prior to 106 all, it was at 6-6 back in the first quarter.
Oh yes. Alley-oop. Zaldy Realubit. Lambert Shell again on the floor. The foul will be committed by Shell. That'll be foul number 4 on Lambert Shell.
Strong move by Zaldy Realubit. Challenging inside. He knows he has the height advantage.
Zaldy first lowered his shoulder, and then on the second move under the rim. He got the foul, but he didn't get the first charity.
You know, Nat Canson has again used only 8 players in this ball game, Jimmy. Another credit to his coaching wizardry here, especially in the semifinals. 1-point lead for Santa Lucia, 7:15 remaining in the fourth.
New kids on the block, battling the defending champions. Head to head, leading by 1. There's Andy De Guzman. Blocked by his own board. 4 seconds on the shot clock. Nice pass from Bong Alvarez to Lambert Shell.
I don't know if it's the side of the floor, Jimmy, but every time they shoot on that side of the other side of the floor, they've been able to really get the ball inside, and somehow the team has been catching up in terms of assists here. Double team on Harris. Great move.
Oh yes. First the double team by Zandro Limpot. Then Lambert Shell will pick up Harris, but he used his left hand and used the glass. But they're still down.
Shell has to be careful not to pick up 5 personal fouls. There's still a lot of time remaining in this ball game.
Lambert Shell. Zandro Limpot against Zaldy. Moving to the left side. Only 2.5 conferences old, and he's learned so many lessons. Zandro Limpot.
In that play, you saw Limpot way out in the three-point line. Certainly, he's not going to take that kind of a shot, and so Realubit must step back a bit and sag down because Limpot likes to drive, especially going to his left there.
Limpot only had 5 points in the first half. Picked up the scoring and scored 15 in the third.
Well, he's beginning to show his numbers. Last November 7, he had 32 points in that winning game against Swift. 32 points, 9 rebounds, and 2 block shots. He now has 24 tonight.
Harris to Meneses. Oh! Lambert Shell wanted that basketball.
There you see Vergel Meneses, 19 points in the first half, but in this second half, he has not made a field goal, and a good steal off the inbound. Lambert Shell once again breaking up the play.
Talk about leaders. At Lambert Shell at Santa Lucia. They're in the thick of this fight in the semifinals. On a one-on-one, Lambert Shell against Tony Harris. Fall away.
That's not his shot
Little
there, but
short. Guess who follows up? 26 points for the rookie.
you know what's happening now with Swift is that they're standing around looking at Lambert Shell. Nobody putting up too much intensity. Solis with a three-point shot. Again, another miss, and Shell with a rebound.
No go-to basket for Al Solis and the Swift Mighty Meaties. Santa Lucia has increased their lead to 5.
Look for a timeout here if Santa Lucia will make a basket for Swift.
Zandro Limpot again against Zaldy Realubit. After the fake, the use of the glass, completely missing the rim. Tony Harris is streaking down against the small Rick Marata, and Lambert Shell again the left-handed layup.
That's a big basket for Swift there. First a stop on the other end, and Tony Harris coming up quickly with the 2 points. Lead is down to 3, 4, and 44 remaining.
Hard-earned 3-point lead for Santa Lucia.
Oh, yes.
Andy De Guzman. Lambert Shell. 4 on the shot clock. Zandro Limpot. Everybody expected a slam. He used the rim to shield off the defense. Look at it. Aiming for the slam right here. Using the rim to shield off the defender in Vergel Meneses. Then he's at the stripe.
He can play power, he can play finesse. What else can this guy do? Almost everything. June Limpot with a big production here in the second half. Possible three-point play, and he completes. Lead is back, or up now to 6, the biggest lead for Santa Lucia.
Very convincing 5-point lead. Another 6-point lead.
You know, the movement of the ball now for Swift seems to be a little slower than the first half. That's why they're not getting good shots. Asaitono powering himself to the basket, gets 2 points.
A 4-point ball game. Marata to Bong Alvarez. The cut by Marata, the cut by De Guzman. Alvarez over to Lambert Shell. The fake and then the drive. Yes. It has been a thinking ball game for the Santa Lucia Realtors. We have this timeout. We'll be back. Oh Yes, we're back at courtside, and Santa Lucia just blew its lead, and Swift has it back.
Well, for a while, Santa Lucia's focus was a little off there. They had a lapse in concentration, and Swift took advantage. A couple of easy layups for Tony Harris. As we take a look at the timeout story, only 2 timeouts left for both teams. Both teams still have 2 fouls to give here.
Inbound for Santa Lucia. It has been a successful pressing defense for the Swift Mighty Meaties. Still a lot of time. 17 on the shot clock. Alvarez will sky and get it tied all over again at 124 all.
Now this is where you have to execute defensively or offensively. Teves can still give up a foul here, trying to vex Tony Harris now. What a move from Tony Harris.
Controlling foot, just let go. Lambert Shell will lose it. Asaitono. Foul. Toying Teves with his left arm. His right arm intended for the ball. The left arm intended for Toying Teves. Look at this. There's the left arm.
Good call by referee Varela. And that's a very big call there. 16 foul for Swift.
A timeout called by Santa Lucia. We'll be back. Swift enjoying a 2-point lead, but Santa Lucia has the basketball.
Well, let's review the situation here. Swift is still 1 more foul to give. Santa Lucia only with 5 team fouls, so both teams not yet in the penalty, but Santa Lucia has only 1 more timeout to call. 2 more timeouts for Coach Xiang Giao. There's the guy who has really brought back Swift here after falling down by 6 or falling behind. Now Swift is on top by 2. However, Santa Lucia has possession. Jun Limpot, the key figure in this second half upsurge for Santa Lucia. But then again, it's still a long time remaining here. 41 seconds remaining.
This is the tying offensive for Santa Lucia if they convert. Rick Marata. Toying Teves, Lambert Shell. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Lambert Shell cuts inside. Oh! Exclamation point. 37 for Lambert Shell. Again, it's tied, and there's this timeout.
Okay, listen. Al, Rudy, Tony, Nelson, Terry. Okay, listen. Rudy, in, out. Tony, in, out. Nelson, okay. Approach, Terry, back door. Okay, yeah.
Inbound is down there.
Which one? Here.
Down the floor. Inbound is down the floor.
Okay.
One shot anyway. Mag-alangan dyan, baka ma-press tayo.
Okay.
And everybody else go down there. Yeah.
Okay, let's do this. Okay, let's just do this. On the one on the box. Hey, Al, Tony, Rudy. Okay, you just split. The big man just come down. We go 1-4 last shot. Okay, okay. Big man. Okay.
Malikot.
Big man. Big man. Up, down. Terry. Up, down. Okay, Rudy. Up, down, up. Down, up. Okay, guys. Okay. One more time. Last shot. Last shot. 1, 2, 3.
The assumption was a full court press and then just a split at the bottom to get that basketball over.
With that much time remaining, only 23.7 seconds, they can afford to take the last shot here. There you see the situation. Swift has only 1 more foul to give, but Santa Lucia can use those 2 fouls that they can give up wisely with that much time remaining. Tony Harris certainly will be the focus of attention.
Al Solis. Look at the time remaining. Oh, Toying Teves will foul Tony Harris.
That cuts about 7 seconds from the game clock there. And Teves will foul out of this ball game.
Honest defense all throughout the ball game. against Tony Harris.
And Max Delantes has been chosen by Coach Nat Canson to check in with only 18.5 seconds. He is coming off the bench. Very cold here.
Oh, yes. .5 seconds. This ball game is tied. Meneses has the basketball. Al Solis is a dangerous man, but he didn't go all the way to the basket.
Remember this, Santa Lucia can still give up one more foul here.
Tony Harris, only that much time remaining. Oh, he slips, but there's Al Solis, the go-to guy. They don't get it, and ladies and gentlemen, it is tied after 48 minutes of play. Overtime. We'll be back.